I am now recording.
Hey, all right. Hey, now everyone's left behind the curtain. They know that this isn't live. Son of a...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not, there's no such thing as a live podcast.
No, that's true.
You think
That's
we're
why
surprising
people
them?
enjoy them. That's why people enjoy them, because they can listen to them at their leisure. So I guess they
That's
all
right.
are recorded. Yes.
Welcome to the show. It's Mike and Molson's Too Good for Radio podcast. The podcast, because they don't put good things on the radio. They used to say, hey, there's something good. And then I was saying, hey, we got this good thing, but you need to go listen to it on the podcast.
Right. That's why they put all the bad stuff on the radio, so you go to the podcast thing.
Listen
So
to
it's
the
kind
good
of like reverse psychology is what they're doing now to you.
Right. Probably the biggest compliment we've ever gotten is go be on a podcast because you're just too damn good for the radio.
Yes. We don't get very
this-
many of those.
I want to start this week with, I feel I need to confess to you, my friend Mike,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if I need to confess to you. This is a weird,
Ooh.
I found myself in a very strange conundrum. Forgive me, there's a train about to go by.
I wanted you to confess it right there when the train whistle was going,
Right.
and then being like, so what do you think about that? And I would be like, what? And just have that be a running gag. That's quite the quandary, though, you have.
And so it was an interesting scenario where I woke up realizing, just stay with me and please let's still be friends after I tell you this.
Okay.
I woke up realizing that I just had a dream about your wife,
Uh-oh. Okay.
but it wasn't your wife.
Oh,
In the dream world, you were married to this person, but it wasn't your current actual wife.
okay. So it's not my real life wife. It's fake dream world wife. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a
So it's
wife
not-
you've never been married to, and I had a dream about her.
Well, then you just had a dream about a random person.
Yeah, but it was your dream wife in Dreamland wife.
Dreamland physics are different.
Okay.
Dreamland physics are all made up anyway. I mean, there's some grounding in reality of what's going on, but I don't know if you would have to apologize for. I'm
not apologizing for nothing. It was awesome.
Okay, I didn't know if he just
I'm
went to play
confessing.
golf. I didn't know if he just went to play golf or he just had a thing of tea. Like, you didn't really specify exactly what you and dream wife of mine were doing, but I assume
Yeah, we
if
got
you
it
had
out.
a good.
We got
I
it
was
out.
gonna say if I assume if you had a guilty conscience that there was something more than just what a wonderful pinochle game we're playing right now.
And you know that weird foggy moment after you wake up where
Yes.
things are still kind of in that strange neverland. And it took me an unusually long amount of time to kind of shake it of going, oh my God, what did I just do to Mike? And then it occurred to me, it's like, oh wait, that wasn't her. It was some other chick that he was married to. Now your wife's not going to like that at all, I don't think.
No.
Yeah, now, you know what has to happen now is you have to confess to your wife about a dream I had.
Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to get back to her. Our friends are going to listen to this podcast and they're going to be like, did you know in Dream World that Mike has a new wife? Mike is married to a different person in Johnny's Dream World. And now I'm going to have to apologize and be like, I'm sorry, sweetie. She means nothing to me. I don't really know even what she looks like, but she means nothing. She's just a dream world. Oh, she's a dream world. That must mean she's your dream girl. Johnny knows you. It's like, oh, God.
Have you ever, a girlfriend or maybe your wife, I don't know, wake up and in a dream she had a fight with you and the fight's still going on?
Oh, yeah. It's the worst. It's the absolute worst.
You?
Yes. How could you indeed? So, no, I appreciate you bringing this to my attention, but I don't know if it should weigh heavy on you. I mean, it's a little bit weird that even in the dream world with my dream wife, but once again, that's different physics. So I appreciate you telling me.
I felt bad for a good chunk of the day.
Well, yeah, I would feel bad for about 15, 20 minutes and then go about my day and be like, well, you know what? It's fine. It's just his dream wife. As long as it's not the real world wife, we're fine. Well,
here is another confession that is coming out, 40 plus years after it happened. Dan Ackroyd is now saying, this is really interesting, that in the Blues Brothers, they needed about 60 or 70 cop cars, because you remember there's that big scene at the end where they all collide into each other.
Right.
And so they needed like all these different cars. And I guess they had a body shop running 24 hours a day to take care of these things. And when they closed filming, John Landis gave one of the cars to Dan Aykroyd.
Well, that's pretty sweet. I know you usually give gifts to actors at the end.
He said it was the neatest piece of memorabilia that I've ever owned. And these were California cop cars that were painted to look like they were from Mount Prospect, Illinois. And so Ackroyd has this car that looks like a Mount Prospect Police Department car. And he says he drove it around Manhattan for a good 3 years after the movie even ended, and would regularly pick up women.
For 3 years after? That seems like something you would do for the first 12 months. I can't believe 3 years after the blue, because you got to remember, I guess it was a simpler time of you had to wait almost that long before the movie actually came out on video. So maybe there was the aftermath of the movie. Well, the Blues Brothers still then were performing on Saturday Night Live even after the movie. So I don't really hold that against him. What else would you do with that thing? You got it, flaunt it, right?
And he said, all the ladies I ever dated back then were so cool. I could have picked them up in a garbage wagon and they would have been fine. Magnificent women, all of them.
Okay, that's a little creepy.
And then
that's a weird qualifier for magnificent. I don't know any woman who'd be like, oh, he called me magnificent. He's such a gentleman. That's just a weird old man term right there.
Well, and saying I could have picked them up in a garbage wagon doesn't speak very highly of them, I don't think.
No, where was he going? You know what? Now I'm a little bit worried if he was going to the ladies of the night in the cop car and being like, hey, you're arrested. But if you want to, get off of the charges, we can just kind of do the old ring-a-ding-ding in the Bluesmobile, as it were.
But he said even though he drove it around, at no point did a cop ever pull him over and say, you can't drive around in a police car. They left him alone. So there's this Mount Prospect, Illinois police car driving around New York for many years, and nobody ever bugged him about it.
Do you think he could have done that with Herbie the Love Bug? You think if he rolled up in Herbie the Love Bug and was hitting on the ladies?
That's an interesting question. What other kinds of vehicles from movies or TV would be awesome? I mean, I think everybody in the 70s wanted the Camaro from Smokey and the Bandit.
Yes.
Or the Trans Am, excuse me.
Yeah, that would be one. I think the ones you couldn't do it, I don't think you'd get any love if you pulled up in the Love Bug, to be honest with you. I don't think a lot of ladies think Herbie is super sexy. I think another one that probably guys think is cooler than that actually, if you pulled up in the A-Team van and threw open the door, I think they would think they're being kidnapped more than actually like going on a romantic getaway. Mm-hmm. I don't think the A-Team van would work real well.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other car-centric things that would be. The Batmobile, I guess, is high up there. That train guy is one that could be.
It all depends on what Batmobile. Yeah. The Adam West Batmobile was that wasn't as cool as like the Michael Keaton Batmobile.
That's true.
I think the Michael Keaton one, I think for certain, guaranteed to get yourself some is if you pull up in Kit from Knight Rider.
Oh, yeah.
Because, even if you flubbed the lines, Kit was English when it talked, like, hello, Michael. So even if you were terrible at flirting, Kit would pick up the slack and would actually, lay it on nice for the lady. And you would be golden to go from there. Because not only have a cool car, but the car is complimenting her when you couldn't.
Yeah. Well, send us a note on other really cool cars you think would be great for picking people up. Anything Steve McQueen drove, I think, would be a great car.
Yes, I believe cool cars. Anything from Hogan's Heroes, I think would be.
Yes, nothing like a Nazi Jeep.
Right. Ooh, that really gets some people. Hey, there's certain people that have weird kinks. We'll get to that later on here in the podcast. But I wanted to share with you a quick story. Now that I'm in the palatial Florida studios, there was a first that happened to me earlier this week at Disney World. I've seen a lot, been many times, but this was an absolute first time occurrence. So I had friends in from out of town. We had all just ridden the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster, which, by the way, top notch, highly recommend. One of the best roller coasters, if not the best roller coaster in Disney. So we get off the ride, and to exit the ride, you have to go. It's kind of odd. You go up some stairs, and then down another set of stairs, and up another set of stairs, and then down and out. So it's kind of like up, down, up, down. It's kind of odd. Well, we had gone up the first set of stairs. We were walking to go. We went going down the second, going up the second set of stairs. I see an employee in there draping white towels across the floor. So I assumed, oh, maybe it had rained. Like, it's an indoor roller coaster. So I was kind of wondering, like, well, maybe it was raining and someone ran up the stairs the wrong way and the floor is wet. And they're kind of putting these towels across the floor. And then they hesitate as they're putting down the third towel.
See, I wouldn't.
And as I look down, what's that?
I wouldn't think rain.
Yeah, no, it was much worse. So then I go, well, maybe it's vomit, right? Maybe the tank, because that ride spins around and everything else. And then I look down as they're, putting on the third towel, and I see a brown blob on the floor. Someone had taken a number 2.
Wow.
And either had done it starting on the ride, because part of the ride vehicles were not being filled, or had made it up the first set of stairs and down, and then just thought, I can't anymore, and just let it, because not only was it there in a ball, so obviously there were other turds that were already covered by towels.
Oh, they were running and pooping?
Yeah, so that's the problem.
What, the trail?
Not only did they leave a trail of turds, but because you're so grouped together and a mass exodus, others stepped in the turds.
Oh, man.
There were footprints of brown doo-doo stains going all the way down the stairway. So they were trying to block off the one side of stairs. So everyone was having to go down the left. And even when you got to the outside, there was still brown as you got into the exit way.
Good Lord, what a disaster. What, is this person okay?
And so I was like, who dumped? I get it. Sometimes you can't hold it,
right? But
if it's that dire of a situation for a person, it wouldn't have been as solid, I don't think. I was just like, so then we got outside, and I am at a loss. I'm talking over my buddy and my goddaughter. I'm like, and my goddaughter swears, she's like, I think it was that 10-year-old girl who is screaming. I don't think she could hold it. I was like, I don't think it was that 10-year-old girl. I'm like, then I start thinking, I'm like, well, some people bring dogs, but the dog wouldn't have ridden the ride. It was in such a weird, like you can bring in a service dog, but that service dog's not going to get on the Guardians of the Galaxy with you. But there was a service dog a little bit around the corner. I'm like, well, maybe it was a service dog. And so I got home and I asked my wife, she's like, that wasn't a service dog dump. I was like, no, she's like, that would have been easy to clean up. You just pick it up. Mm-hmm. That seemed like a human dump that they had to wrap up. So next thing you know, I get outside, they get maintenance involved. They get the custodial engineers. No one wants to handle that.
Well, I hope the person didn't get away. I mean, it sounds like the person was on the run while they were pooping and something horrible was going on. And I hope they found that person and got them to the hospital.
You would think.
They're surprised by their own poop and were running from it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that happens to where you go, well, I can see the embarrassment of wanting to get away, but I'm just like, I don't know. I haven't been in that situation, thank God, where it's been so bad where something solid were to come out and I'm like, you know what? I have to do. And how did they do it?
Was George Brett at the park by any chance?
He was. He's like, I swear to God, he had just had a great steak dinner over in France. Greatest steak dinner ever. Had some crabs, and he just shit himself. And somebody had to come and bring him some underpants. It's just
you don't know what that is. Please Google George Brett and poop, and you'll hear the story of a lifetime.
And the poor kid who has to sit through the whole thing that doesn't want to hear any of that story. So yes, that was a first. I've never seen human feces sitting on the floor of a Disney park before, but yet here we were.
It's a small world after all.
No, it wasn't small. It was giant that someone stepped in it that much. Staying on the gross. Although, you know what? I don't know if this is actually gross, to be honest with you. There is a mom on TikTok who's just being bombarded with comments of how disgusting she is because she went on TikTok and let everyone know that in their family, everyone shares the same deodorant.
Whoa.
And so everyone's like, oh my God, that is gross. Why does everyone have to smell like dad? A woman should never smell like Speed Stick. No one should smell like, Secret.
Did she say what their deodorant was, though? Maybe it was an unscented, just a generic deodorant.
Right. And that's
Arm
the
and
thing.
Hammer.
She's just saying, yeah, it's just like, it's just your regular, everyday, generic kind of deodorant. And that we all share the same stick. Wow. She says her husband gets frustrated that he can't find the communal deodorant and asks her why they just can't have their own sticks. She replies, why will we have our own deodorants? I'm not paying for a whole other stick of deodorant. The husband replies, this is gross, right? But she doesn't think it's gross at all. Hence why she enforced the whole group deodorant thing in the first place. She said, me and the girls share deodorant too, and that's not gross. But her husband argued that it's different for guys as they have underarm hair.
That's true. Sometimes you leave one behind.
Oh, that's the worst.
It is.
She says, I'm also not buying 5 to 8 sticks of deodorant every month. Whoa, that's a lot of deodorant. You don't go through that much in a month. I think that may be a problem too. 5 or 8 in a month.
Well, I don't know how many people yeah, you're right. I don't know how many people are in the family.
She said, I would need to put in extra money in our budget because we all use clinical strength deodorant. That's like $15 to $20 a thing.
Dang.
Yeah. Someone commented, I have been poor. I mean, poor, but I've never shared deodorant.
Right. That never gets cut out of the budget. I guess it's not gross. I mean, I guess I'm thinking this through and it's going, okay, let's say you have a bar of soap in the shower. Everybody uses the bar of soap.
Correct. Well, and you bring up a good point of the thing about deodorant is, in theory, it should be put on after you've already cleaned yourself. Mm-hmm. So in that respect, your armpit is never cleaner than when deodorant is first applied.
Yeah.
So by your rationale and your reasoning, which is sound, it's not as gross as it appears to be.
Right.
But when you say it out loud saying, yeah, the whole family shares deodorant, that's when everyone goes, that sounds gross.
If she said we have a family toothbrush, I might call the police.
Correct. I would be, or let me ask you this. If she said, we share a family loofah or family washcloth that everyone uses the same one, I'd be more like, that's disgusting as opposed to the deodorant.
The flaw in her logic, though, is using one deodorant 5 times or 5 deodorant 1 time, I think is the same price.
Depending on the deodorant. Do you have a brand? My wife always looks at me side eye because I go to the store and whatever brand is the cheapest is the brand I buy for my deodorant. Yeah. Because I feel like it's just, as long as it's a deodorant and antiperspirant, I don't really care what the cost is. I don't need your native. I don't need your green tea extract lavender. Mm-hmm. If I were, if Speed Stick is $1.29, fine. That's good enough for me. I'll just Speed Stick my pits. Yeah.
Something has happened lately. Deodorant does seem unusually expensive. I don't know why.
It does. I walked down that aisle. I used to be a firm Degree individual.
Yeah.
And then Degree started getting like $4 a stick. And I was like, I'm no longer. And by the way, Stick, the spray deodorant, I got no use for. I don't even know what that does.
Well, if the Biden-Harris administration would get a handle on the deodorant prices in this country, we wouldn't be the shape we're in.
You know who should wear
is what J.D. Waltz is saying, or J.D. J.D. Vance is saying.
They're all the same person. You're
J.D.
not wrong.
Waltz, yeah.
Kamala Trump or J.D. Walls or whatever it is.
God.
Ugh, what a mess. What a mess.
Have you ever looked at a science experiment and said, wow, somebody spent money on this and I'm not entirely sure why?
Yes, all the time.
Let's go to the University of Washington School of Medicine, pretty prestigious place.
Anytime you put School of Medicine on anything, it makes it more
I don't know anything about it, but it sounds pretty fancy.
You could say the University of Walmart School of Medicine, and I'd be like, boy, that's pretty prestigious.
They wanted to learn more about how flies walk.
Why? They're flies. They're not called walks. Oh, I gotta knock that walk down.
You're right. You're right. Walking is usually the smallest thing they do, but they do walk.
Yeah.
And they're thinking, well, I can't just set a fly on the table and watch it. So they invented miniature little itty bitty treadmills.
No way. They made a fly treadmill
for fruit flies. And that's helping scientists learn how the nervous system enables animals to move in an unpredictable and complex world. The researchers engineers these small scale machines from inexpensive parts. Treadmills are used in studies how fruit flies recognize and deal with unexpected changes underfoot while they are walking.
Who is making that? Is a tiny. That is not even a horsefly or a common housefly. You know how small fruit flies are?
Well, who's this helping, I wonder? I mean, it's not as though that there is a scourge of fruit flies that are slipping and falling and breaking an egg.
How do you know, Johnny? How do you know?
I have a feeling.
You don't think there's pratfall? You don't think there's pratfall fruit flies? There's not a Jim Carrey fruit fly out there going, "Hey, watch me do this. Watch me take this pratfall."
I do like the idea, though, of a fruit fly landing on my hamburger and taking a couple steps and going, whoa, and just sliding off, and nobody knows why. Like, what the hell happened to you? Dumb fly? Why did you just take off when you knew you were slipping?
You know what? I enjoy that as well. They're one side of the hot dog that just didn't have enough condiments, and they're like, sweet hot dog, and they hit the ketchup, and they do that thing across the bar where they slide all the way.
It does this perfect, 4-point landing on your watermelon and then slides down the backside because it just couldn't quite get the grip. And now scientists has to get involved saying, well, we got to figure this out because there are far too many fruit flies ending up in the hospital. And this is a tragedy.
It's a tragedy of epidemic proportions.
Yeah. So there's this lengthy article in Science Today. Again, check out the centerfold in that one.
Mitochondria on her.
About how they built this little bitty treadmill, and they're putting fruit flies on them and saying, all right, take a walk. We want to see what you got here.
Yeah, how did the fruit flies, the first time they step on the treadmill, they're probably not used to the moving of something already.
Yeah.
So they're flying off the treadmill. I think this is just a scientist who is needed to have a nice little enjoyment, just to laugh. And he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I got this government funding. I'm going to make a fruit fly treadmill, and we're going to watch those fruit flies just slam against. Let's turn it up to 12 and see what they do.
That's probably the first, because it's like those videos you see when a cat is on a treadmill, then they turn it on and it just goes with the treadmill and falls off the end. That's probably what's going on with these fruit flies.
My neighbor trained his dog to run on the treadmill. He showed it to me one night. It was pretty impressive, but yeah, that seems like a waste of good tax dollars to get a fruit fly treadmill. Because who's asking for that?
I don't know. I don't know whose money they're wasting, but I'm not sure that they're going to get any benefit out of this.
I don't think so either. Here is a study, though, that is very beneficial, I do believe. It seems as if science has been able to pinpoint the exact time that people do the deed. They do the old sex with their friend's dream wife.
Did they put this on the Richter scale or something? Was that how they figured it out? And all the bouncing around?
Well, it's a global study. Okay. They said what they did was this is from luxury lingerie retailer Pure Moi. They conducted a survey of 2,000 sexually active adults across the world.
Okay.
And they found that 10:09 p.m. on Saturdays is the exact time that people are having the most sex. Does that seem right? That seems early.
It seems early. See, I was thinking, and I don't know if I'm just getting older and tireder, but the 10:09 is like, oh man, I'd rather just be asleep at that point. You think it's early for sex?
On a Saturday?
Yeah.
10:09 on a Saturday is early. That seems like people are getting the sex before they go out.
Oh, maybe.
That's like the rule. Like,
yeah, you're right.
Have you ever seen those videos of like people like if you want to take your lady to romantic dinner, make sure you try to make the move before the dinner, because otherwise they're going to eat too much and you're going to come home and then no sex is going to happen.
Oh, that's good advice.
Yeah, that is sound advice. They say 43
laps on the fruit fly treadmill.
Right. Make sure you get that in before you go. They say
your blood pressure going, and you know what? You can always use Nugenics.
That's true,
because she will like it too.
Yeah, even if you sneak it in her pasta by crunching it up and then putting it in as Parmesan cheese, you can do it that way as well.
So what did you say, 10:06, 10:08?
10:09 on a Saturday. They said 43% of respondents said Saturday was their favorite day to get freaky, and the day they're most likely to do the deed. What day do you think came in second?
In second, I feel like a Wednesday or something comes in second.
Friday came in second with 22%, followed by Sunday and Thursday. Sunday was 10% and Thursday 6%. What they found,
for the most part, no sex on a school night.
Yeah, exactly. They said that Monday was the least favorite day of the week for sex, with just 2% of people ringing in the new week with a ring-a-ding-ding.
Mm-hmm.
The study found that late night hours are the most popular for sexy time, with, like I said, 10:09 being the most sexually active minute on the clock. The least likely and least sexy time of the day, what do you think? What day, what time is the least sexy time?
Oh, I'm thinking broad daylight at about 2:15.
Mondays at 1:02.
Mondays at 1:02.
Was deemed the least sexually moment of the week. They also analyzed just how often people are having sex, with nearly half respondents saying they partake in sexual activity with another person once a week. Mm-hmm. A smaller percentage of people reported having sex more often, with 19% of respondents making love twice a week, 13% 3 times a week, and 7% saying 4 times a week. Who are those people? Finding time for 4 times a week.
Good for them.
Yes, good for them indeed. So there you go. Saturday at 10:09. So if you're out and about this weekend, make sure you get home by that time. Yeah. So you can hit it right at its peak time.
Well, that explains why all the Nugenix commercials are on late at night. They're trying to catch you right there when you're looking for it.
Correct. And finally, here on the Too Good for Radio podcast, the AP, because when I think of hip organizations, I think AP, but the Associated Press has this quiz of, do you speak Gen Alpha? And we will take this in live time. It's a multiple choice quiz. Are you ready for this, Johnny?
I'm ready.
Play along at home. Here we go. The first one is, your middle schooler describes his friend as Sigma. That means he thinks his friend is A, weak, B, weird, C, Greek, or D, an alpha male. If he says his friend is Sigma.
I've heard this, and I think it's weird.
You're going to go weird. You know what? I think weird is as well, because we click weird. We would be incorrect.
Oh.
Sigma means an alpha male.
Oh.
Sigma in this case does not mean the 18th letter of the Greek alphabet. Today, the word is used to describe an alpha male or macho dude. British GQ traced the term's origins back to the so-called manosphere, a collection of online forums for misogynistic beliefs. Sigma Grindset merges this existing extremist thinking with posts about grind culture motivation and internet nihilism and workout content, creating a fusion of subcultures. Wow, there's a lot.
Why are we replacing one Greek letter with a different Greek letter? I mean, if they're an alpha male and we're saying they're actually Sigma, I'm confused.
I am confused. I think they're confused as well.
Yeah, I say you guys don't know your alphabet.
No, what are you doing? Yeah, you already have a perfectly good alpha. Why you got to go all Sigma on me?
Yeah, like you say, you think that girl's okay? No, I think she's DR. What does that mean? It means okay. Wait, we already have letters. We already have letters.
You already have this taken care of. Why? You can't make it a thing. Stop making fetch happen, you weirdos. Up next, your friend is described as a Rizzler. That means he's someone who A, is always late, B, likes to steal, C, is flirty, or D, is loud. He's a Rizzler.
I thought this was a variation on Riz.
I thought it was too.
That's not one of the choices.
It's always late, likes to steal, is flirty, or is loud. What is if they're a Rizzler?
I guess I'm going to go with flirty.
I will go with flirty as well. That is correct.
Yay.
Oxford University, which named Riz as its word of the year in 2023, defines the term as someone's ability to attract or seduce another person, and nodded to a common assumption that the word is derived from the word charisma. A Rizzler is the latest variation of the trend, someone who is successful at flirting with people. Yeah. You are a Rizzler.
See, I know this. I know that I'm young and virile, ladies. Yeah.
He's quite the Rizzler. He's a Sigma Rizzler, if you know what I mean.
I know these words.
I know things. All right. I don't know this one. Here we go. The next one is your quiz skills are looking skibbity. That means they're impressive, bad, awkward, or a joke. For skibbity.
I'm gonna say bad only because I've just recently learned about Skibbity Toilet, and I don't know if this is related to that.
What is Skibbity Toilet?
Skibbity Toilet's all the thing.
Oh, it's the thing?
Yeah, Skibbity Toilet. Yeah.
Is it a type of toilet, or you're something you do on the toilet?
No, it's like a I don't know, it's like a kid show or something on YouTube. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know it's all the kids are talking about Skibbity Toilet. That's about to become a movie, and I think Skibbity.
Oh yeah. I know.
It's
okay,
the bad guys.
Yes, that's right. It's just that weird toilet with teeth that talks to people, right?
So, yeah.
By the way, any of those answers, impressive, bad, awkward, or a joke, would work because apparently skibbity has no inherent meaning.
Oh,
it can be used as a wacky adjective to mean cool, bad, or dumb, depending on the context, according to the Urban Dictionary. It can also used as a way to start a joking conversation in reference to absurd slang culture. The term is derived from a song used in the viral Skibbity Toilet YouTube short series. A single video in the series has over 201 million views. The Skibbity hashtag on TikTok has over 670,000 posts, and a version of the meme was referenced by Stephen Colbert on The Late Show in May.
I don't think I'm getting credit for how hip I am right now.
I know. You were 2 for 3.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. This one. Your favorite snack has just been phantom taxed. What does that mean? FANUM tax. It was stolen. It was affected by inflation. It was dipped in chocolate or was dropped on the floor. What is phantom tax?
I think affected by inflation.
I think so too. And it was stolen.
It was stolen.
Yeah. Phantom tax is the theft of food between friends. It's popularized on TikTok, but created by Phantom, a Twitch streamer with over 2.5 million followers, and a fellow streamer, Kai Sine's social media influence group, AMP. So if someone phantom taxed, they stole your soda. Or your pop.
I don't like how TikTok is. I want these things because we all had words and languages and stuff, and there wasn't a thing that was giving them to us, right? I don't know how they got around.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure either. Like the Ninja Turtles.
I don't know.
The Ninja Turtles, and for me, my generation, the Ninja Turtles and the Simpsons really kind of, the Eat My Shorts, the Cowabunga Man, the Totally Awesome, the Dude. That's kind of what came.
Cowabunga?
What's that?
Did you ever say Cowabunga?
Oh yeah, I was a Michelangelo fan. So I would be out there on the playground running, and I'd be like, Cowabunga.
I never said Cowabunga.
Well, what did you just say? Bunga Bunga? Were you a Captain Caveman fan instead? Yeah. I mean there's that. All right. Next word is how are you doing at home? Are you as hip as Johnny is? A TikToker claims that Chris Evans mogged MOGGED Chris Pine in a red carpet photo. What do they mean? Is mogging mean Evans looked taller than Pine, Evans looked better than Pine, Evans looked worse than Pine, or Evans dressed with less pizzazz than Pine? If he mogged him on the red carpet.
I'm going to say he looked better than Pine.
I'm going to say so too. That would be correct.
Oh, thank God.
Mogging gained popularity on TikTok, where users post slideshows of celebrity photos in which one star outshines the rest, looking so attractive they make another look bad in comparison. In other words, they mog the competition, who are going to be traced to incel-centric online forums as early as 2016.
I'm with you.
Where members, mostly men, discuss how to maintain dominant social status using their appearances, or, being a Rizzler Sigma or a Sigma Rizzler.
That's a total Sigma move. It
is a total Sigma move, man. Seriously.
Sigma, AR. Alpha, I don't know. Epsilon. I don't know which word it is.
Right. Exactly. ZQ to that, man. That's ZQ to me. This one, I think we all know. This goes to show how behind the times the AP is and their Gen Alpha slang words. As you prepare to take a photograph, you start mewing, meaning you meow like a cat, You restructure your face to appear slimmer. You smile with your eyes, or you frame your face with your hands.
I'm going to let you take this one because I guess I don't know.
You've never been mewed before?
I don't think I have.
The mew makes it look like, so basically you press your tongue to the top of your the roof of your mouth, and you like give a shush sound, and then they take their finger and they go up and down. So you structure your face to appear slimmer. I am correct.
Is this what I'm doing?
No, that's duck lips.
Oh, okay.
It's like this. You go.
Oh,
that's mewing. It's also used to like cut you off in the conversation.
Why is my tongue on the roof of my mouth though? What's that?
Because you look thinner then.
Thinner?
Like,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Oh, no. It looks like duck lips still.
It's a little bit of both. According to the American Association of Orthodontists, mewing is a technique in which one flattens their tongue against the roof of their mouth in an attempt to define their jawline.
Okay.
Mewing hashtag on TikTok is filled with over 421,000 videos teaching users how to mew, pose, and define their jaws. Unfortunately for Gen Alpha, the American Association of Orthodontists warns that this technique will probably not have any long-term benefits. Shocking to no one. And finally, here we are. A friend describes your outfit as, quote, so Ohio. That means it's, quote, A, cringe, B, stylish, C, vintage, or D, expensive. That outfit is so Ohio.
This one I've heard before, and I think it is cringe. I thought it meant basic, but I think it is cringe.
Basic and cringe, I think, are the same thing.
Right.
Cringe is correct. The term Ohio is thought to have originated from memes like it's all Ohio or only in Ohio, popularized in the last few years, according to the internet culture publication The Daily Dot. In more modern tween slang, the state of Ohio is used as a stand-in for anything that is weird, cringe, or random. That is so Ohio. Yeah. Ready to see our results? Nicely done. We got 5 out of 7. Look at us. We are hip with the kids.
Yeah, we can hang out with the 17-year-olds, kind of legally.
Maybe. That's a great bit that comedian Dimitri Martin says. Like, you can say I love kids, but you can't be specific and say I love 8-year-olds.
Right.
Blanket statement, okay. Specificity, weird.
Yeah, totally. We'd totally fit in. I don't know about that.
Yeah, when you want to come for Gen Alpha trends and songs of the summer and exactly what time of day to do it, this is your podcast right here.
We are proud to be a service to you, America.
And she'll like it too.